I've been having a rummage around my box of old locks, old broken bits, and I've come across this one, which the only thing that's missing is the pin, so that's an easy fix. But inside it's set up slightly different. It has the spring let in the way I do it, but instead of a loop that comes round, which supports the bottom of the bolt and the spring through that slot, it's supported by these two pieces. There's one at the top, one at the bottom. The top one supports the spring, and then it's just got a pin which the bolt sits on. So it works in the same way, but it's a much easier way to make it. So I'll do a copy of that and see how it goes. I'm going to actually start making the bolt. There's the original. So I've got my blank, and I've inked it up, and I've just marked out that bit there and another piece off that shoulder. I'll remove those first. It's still over length, so it needs chopping down, but I'll do that later on. So I've cut out part of the bolt and filed it up. So this means I can now measure up the hole in the plate, and I'm just going to start cutting that out now. So I've cut the hole out for the bolt, so that now fits in there. And now I have to cut this little M shape out. That bit's waste anyway because it's too long, and so's the tip. So I'll cut that out first. It doesn't leave me with very much here, so I'm going to have to see if it's actually going to work or not. I've riveted in the two pins. This one here is instead of having the loop which supports the back of the bolt. So it's been positioned so that the bolt sits straight. I'll put it a bit higher and then just file this little M shape until the bolt sat horizontal. The other pin, which is for the key, I had to position that so that the flag didn't interfere with either the brass plate at the front there. There had to be a bit of clearance, and a bit of clearance from the pin as well. And also, when I put the bottom piece in, it has to clear that, which is one of these. So that's where we have to put the pin. So the next thing is marking out the cutout to make the bolt actually work. This is the original lock that I was actually copying, and as you can see, these two pieces here lock in the cover plate. So I copied that on mine, although mine's smaller, means that the pin is closer to that plate there, which means when I cut out the scutcheon shape, it's so close to that it'll end up cutting through, so there'll be no strength. So I've had to make another one of those, which that bit there is offset now to the right, so it's not going to interfere, and it makes it a bit stronger. So I'm just about to mark out the bolt so the key works. So I'll pop that in position. That's locked and that's unlocked, so I want it in the unlocked position to start with, and I'll pop the key in at about 2 o'clock position and just mark the tip. Then move it halfway and just lift it up at 1/2 mil, and at the 12 o'clock position mark it again and put it in the lock position, and at 10 o'clock mark it again. and I'll join those 3 marks up, and that's roughly what I need to cut out. I've cut and filed up the bolt now so that the key works. So that's fine. I did try with clock spring, because the spring on the original is quite stiff, and the clock spring is very similar, but it just seemed to have put too much pressure on the key to actually make it work, so I've used watch spring again, and that seems fine. Now all I need to do is mark the ends that need cutting off. So it's in the unlock position. That tip of the bolt needs cutting off, and at the back get rid of that, so that needs to go, and that, and clip the end of the spring off, and that also needs soft soldering in. So I've cut both ends off, and I've lead soldered the spring in. You always get a bit of lead solder build up underneath the spring, so it stops it working. So I'll just have to cut that out with a fret saw. There's a little bit on the top as well. The spring's nice and hard, so it's not going to cut through that by mistake. So that's fine. I've just started riveting these little pieces in. I've done that one, and I've just got this top one to put in. You can go in now because you can get the bolt in and out with these in place, so it makes life a little bit easier. So all the riveting's done, so all I have to do is grain it. So straight piece of wood on a piece of sandpaper, so you get the sanding marks nice and straight. And that's finished. All I need to do now is make the cover plate. So there's the cover plate finished for this one. It just locates on those 2 little tabs, and then they just need riveting over a little bit to stop it falling off. And it works very nicely. I think it works better than the others. I like the design better. I think that pin helps a lot. With it being round, it just slides smoother and it clicks in better. It's easier to make, so that's the design I'll be using in future, I think. This is another one I've made. It's actually for the trunk door of a grandfather clock, so it's quite a bit bigger. It's 1 inch to the pin from the edge. It's all in steel, which is as it should be, and it'll be nailed on with these rosehead nails, which is in keeping with the age of the clock. And I've used the same method as that one with the pin and the 2 plates, and it does work much nicer than the others. So that's a steel block fitted with the rosewood nails.